This week, I decided to enter a game jam, but not just any game jam. It's a jam in which you have only 3 hours to complete. Yeah, it's not a lot of time. And to make it more exciting, I decided to ask a couple of other developers, all bonded through our recreations of Zelda in Godot, even though mine ended up not being a whole lot like Zelda. That's right, it's Nekoto and Nagi to join in on a friendly sort of competition, I guess.
Hello. Audible now.
There we go.
What's up?
Awesome. I hate
Hi,
Windows.
person I've never met before.
Yeah, two
I don't
people
know how you
home.
feel prior to this. I've never... Do not associate.
Right, okay, so 3 hour game jam. Can you make a game in 3 hours? That's the question.
Definitely not
3
a bonus.
hours.
Yeah, it's not much time.
Can we break up the 3 hours? Like do 1 hour someday and then...
Yes, it says so in the
like,
rules. It says you can do it any time over the weekend. You can break it up. You can do whatever. It doesn't seem like a very strict game jam, so that's okay.
I'm asking you for the sake of describing to the viewers.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah, so the rules are simple. Try your best to make a game in 3 hours, but even if you can't, still try to submit it. You're allowed to go over time. I'm just reading from the website now.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can work on it for 3 hours straight or for 1 hour each session. Either way, whichever you prefer.
I might actually do 3 hours straight, not gonna lie.
I might do the
just
same.
like speedrun it in one sitting.
I might do the same.
Exactly. Same.
Great. Okay, right. Well, for the sake of the video, the timer starts now.
Yeah.
Really?
It doesn't have to, no. I can edit that bit so it sounds like it started then. So, it's a simple premise, but what is my idea? Well, I've been wanting to make a racing game for a while. The theme of the jam is day and night cycles, so I wasn't too sure how I'd fit that in, but I just got started. First up for a racing game would be some driving mechanics. I've never made any driving mechanics before, so I started by looking for some tutorials. I found this great tutorial by Kids Can Code that uses rigid body physics to control a ball rolling around a scene. It feels really nice, and here's the best bit, is you can just replace the ball mesh with a car mesh, or in my case this wedge thing I made in 20 seconds in Blender, and tell the mesh to point forward. This tutorial was actually brilliant, with the camera follow tutorial from Kids Can Code making the car feel really nice. So here's where we run into our first problem, is what I explained there. It took about 30 seconds to explain. But it actually took 1 hour and 23 minutes to get to that point. So that's basically half of my time gone. I needed to get a wriggle on. So my main goal at this point was making the game something that functions and has an aim. I figured I'm not going to have the time to make multiple tracks in a Grand Prix like Mario Kart, so instead decided to settle on the basic goal of collecting points. What do these points do exactly? Nothing. They don't do anything at all. But the further you drive around the track, the more points you get. And if you crash, all your points go down the drain. So I made this goalpost sort of thing out of some primitives and attached a collider to it. Now whenever the player moves through the area, they get a point. Let's ignore the fact that you can just reverse through them to gain unlimited points. I literally don't have time to debug that. Next up was detecting collisions. Honestly, there are a bunch of ways to do this, and a bunch of ways better than what I did, but I just attached a raycast coming out each side of the wedge thing, and when these are colliding, you reset the points counter and trigger the explosion particles. At this point, I had about 30 minutes left. Not gonna lie, it was getting pretty tight. I'd been making some particle effects throughout, so to add some level of polish, and easily imported my pause controller and pause menu from another game I was working on. I threw together a racetrack and even had a short amount of time left to implement some sound effects such as these masterpieces in sound design and Now, to hide any obvious bugs or lack of detail, I just lowered the resolution to 144 by 76 pixels, I think. I absolutely love the chunky pixelated 3D graphics with no anti-aliasing. I think it looks kinda retro and maintains a nice pixel perfect style. Each frame a piece of pixel art. So that's the game I made. I don't think it was too bad for 3 hours. Nagi also made this game with some nice feeling 3D platforming and some FPS elements, which fit the theme with you being able to change between day and night and the environment changing around you, which is actually incredible for such a short time span. It had a very nice art style as well. Unfortunately, Nekoto didn't finish his game in time, but did show me what he managed to get done in about 1.5 hours. How are you doing?
Dead inside and disappointed, but
Yeah, we'll get it next time, of course.
so yeah, I played both of your games. I did
Yeah?
something that I thought was cool, and then now that I've done it, I feel like it's cringe, but I don't want to take it out because I spent too long on it. So I have,
No, it's fine.
I recorded all my stuff, and I spent 93 minutes of the 180 that we have.
Okay, well, it's still a fair few minutes.
Yeah, it's about a little less than 1.5 hours, so I've made a very buggy so the swapping works, but then the enemies kinda just don't respond.
Oh, I love the transitions though. That looks sick.
Yeah, they don't quite like dying, and dying is allegedly
enemies-
a feature.
Yeah, they don't look like they're dying.
They just don't want to. Allegedly a feature that they don't want to obey. And I've written some like sinful code. Like I can show this to you. This. That's ugly. So the thing is, frame 0 is the sun and frame 2 is the moon. So just casting it to a bool, knotting it, and then casting it back into an in.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, look. To be fair, all of my code is like that pretty much most of the time. So, you know, it's not all bad.
At least you made like a game and you used your mouth for sound effects. You had a racing game, dude. You did 3D. The thing I told you that I spent a long time on, and then I was like, I thought this was a cool idea, but then it sucked. Was this. She's the background.
You've written a song for
and
it.
that's the background track for this. Basically, I've been the whole time
Play
I've been debugging. Okay, I'll have to re-screen share, but sound enabled. I'm gonna die of cringe. One chance to rise to fame. 2 hours of sleep is pain. 3 hours to finish the game. 4 bars cause the hook is insane. More hunger, ecstatically more number. I cut like a box cutter, stood on my dog stuffer. I got your mom's number, that equals more slumber. Flash first, then I bang, I'm lightning, then the thunder. Hoping that I make it better, gotta do it hella fast. Sentences made by the letter, relates with the legend last. Leon made a racing game, Nagi made an FPS. I just need a hold down so I can prove that I'm the best. Running fast, always running fast, dogs around. If it's going down, you know that's a fact. Till we pop, have each other's back, working as a pack like the mob, counting up the stacks. Got a million raps, Nikoto. Chance to rise to fame. 2 hours of sleep is pain. 3 hours to finish the game. 4 bars cause the hook kill me. 1 chance to
It's great.
no.
I love it.
Sleep is pain. I hate it.
I love it.
I realized after the fact
You made
that
a damn rap.
the only part I like is this, which is after this part, this area. Yeah.
I like it all, especially the rap.
Oh,
That's
thank
just so
you.
good.
That's very. Man, when I started working on this, that's when it hit me, and when I realized that 3 hours is not a lot of time. In my head,
No.
in my head, I was like, yeah, 3 hours. I can probably make like this game. That's when I wrote down the idea, and then when I opened up Godot and I started working on stuff, and like 15 minutes passed, and all I've done is like draw like 2 characters, and I was like, yo, this is not enough time.
Yeah, it's pretty tight, but also it's like not undoable, if that makes sense. It's doable.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
if you stretch yourself.
Somewhat.
Maybe. Yeah.
Right. Well, Nekoto,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You have a good night's sleep.
You too.
It has been fun.
Yeah, definitely.
By the time judging was finished, I ended up 16th and Nagi 12th. It became pretty clear that my lack of theme restricted my game quite a lot, dragging my score down a fair bit. But honestly, for 3 hours, we both did pretty well, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I made some new friends. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, I'd really appreciate a like, or if you were to press the subscribe button.
1 chance to rise to fame, 2 hours of sleep is pain, 3 hours to finish the game, 4 bars cause the hook is insane. 1 chance to rise to fame, 2 hours of sleep is pain.